What do you want Americans to know about the way Democrats and Republicans can work together in Washington, or are we beyond that conversation?
Well, what happened yesterday was tragic. It's unacceptable. My heart goes out to the family, the students who were there. Rising political violence is not acceptable, has never been acceptable, and cannot be accepted. And I want to see this temperature in our country get taken down in terms of the political rhetoric and certainly the violence that we're seeing. And I appreciate that. You had a colleague of mine on who is from the other side of the aisle and someone who I engage in political discourse with and who I know quite well, who I came into Congress with. And that's what our country's supposed to be about. It is not supposed to be about seeing violence taking place at this type of level. It's just, we just need to find ways to come together and to take the temperature down.
It's been a lot. We remember Minnesota. We remember the Pelosi's. Of course, we remember Donald Trump. Congresswoman, what does it feel like to be a member right now? The point has been made a couple of times, by the way. There's no progressive equivalent to Charlie Kirk. So a lot of folks are looking to Democratic lawmakers to see what the answer is on the other side of the aisle. Do you feel safe when you're out stumping? You're holding campaign events right now. You're stepping in front of crowds of people. You've got to do your business walking around Washington here, and a lot of people know who you are. Do you think about taking that congressional pin off your lapel sometimes?
Well, I'm very proud to serve the people of Michigan, and of course our governor was also threatened by political violence a handful of years ago as well, and I don't think putting our heads in the sand is going to be the answer to this. And we've got, and I'm going to continue to call for the rhetoric and violence to be taken very seriously. Certainly the violence. It's a concerning time. I have a lot of questions about who this person is. I had the same questions when the incident happened in Minnesota. He had a hit list. There was a lot of elected officials on that. And it's not so much about me personally. This is also just about our country. The targeted figures and figureheads is awful, but it's what it means for all of us who want to meet constituents or voters, people who want to achieve, an element of the American dream, exercising our democracy, our freedom of speech rights. I've been campaigning all over Michigan, working to meet people where they're at, and that's a beautiful thing. And the minute that starts to get chipped away at, we can't let fear take over. We can't be driven by fear, which leads to anger. And we've got to make sure that everyone hears loud and clear that violence is unacceptable and not to be condoned. And again, our heart goes out to anyone who's been impacted by political violence, the people who were impacted yesterday, and certainly the remaining questions about what happens next.
Well, I've just, I really appreciate the sentiment of your comments, Congresswoman, but the fact of the matter is we do need this to be about you to a certain extent, and Congressman Style and all the rest of your colleagues up there, because if we don't keep you safe, there's no one there to represent the people. There's also fewer people who are going to raise their hand to run for Congress, and we start running into candidate quality problems. The spiral here could be very real. And with that in mind, I wonder, with the couple of weeks ahead, if Democrats and Republicans will be able to get their heads together on a spending plan to keep the government from shutting down. What are you thinking today?
One of the things that I tell people back home who feel confused or let down or questioning what direction our country is going in. I actually tell them to tune in to the floor of the Congress, go to clerk.house.gov and watch the debates, watch the committee hearings, and you'll see the incredible exercise discourse of democracy taking place. I've taken thousands of votes since I've been become a lawmaker, and I know that when I get bills done, they are bipartisan. They have to be, and in terms of how we're going to negotiate this upcoming spending package, we've got to do it in the way that is the rules and the beautiful way in which our democracy operates through discourse, discussion, and also a commitment that everyone, I believe, who puts up their hand to run for office or who gets elected, should have as a North Star, and hopefully very much likely does, which is what's best for this country. And we have a minority party right now that has a viewpoint. I certainly have disagreed with some of the direction that this current administration's policies have taken us down, particularly with cuts to health care. I want to have that discussion. That's why I show up to work every day. That's why I shoot out of bed in the morning, and I remain eager and hungry for that dialogue. And I've seen it now in my 4 terms in Congress, and knowing that there's been some tough moments that have gotten some national attention, there's also been some good moments where we have been able to pass things like the CHIPS and Science Act, where we have been able to put differences aside to fund the government responsibly or protect our security. And look, that's what I'm going to expect to see happen over these next handful of weeks. And I of course, am always going to be standing up for the people of Michigan. I'm eager to tell Michigan's story in this moment.